Okay folks, I'm rediscovering this yam, and you might notice it's hasn't got a pickup in it at the moment, and it sounds amazing. So I've been enjoying it. And I'll do a comparison with the Ferg pretty soon. And that's why I took the pickup out, because I want to give it a real fair representation, because I think it's going to be close. So alright, I'm going to do a bit of a 2020, what did we just have, 2023? Jeez, I've lost the year. 2023 review, seeing as it's been a pretty big year. And I'll just grab a coffee and make some notes and let you know what's going on. Alright, got a coffee. Happy New Year and Christmas and all of that. So what's the plan? As usual, there's not much of a plan. Yeah, so 2023, man. It's been a big year for me. I hadn't really stopped to think about it because, well, I've just been busy. It's been massive changes, been cool shit going on. It's been way harder, way cooler than I could have imagined. The YouTube channel's been the surprise packet pretty much, I suppose, because it's like I didn't expect really any interest at all, especially the way I'm doing it, which is more like kind of conversational and just whatever I feel like doing rather than trying to plan shit that you like, you know. That's actually working out cool, and I've been happy with that. So yeah, 2023, man, like, one, I bought the Guild. That was cool. Didn't expect to do that. Probably shouldn't have done that financially, but holy shit, I love that guitar. It's probably one of the favorite guitars I've ever owned. And then I've just bought this Ferg, and that's turning out to be an absolute monster as well. Really liking that. It's been a real surprise. Like, I bought it online thinking I would love it. It wasn't exactly over enthusiastic with my first impressions of it, I would say, but she's coming good real fast, and that's definitely staying. So that's cool. And the Yamaha, that's just had its latest upgrade, and took the pickup out of it for the comparison, and it's amazing how much nicer it sounds. So that's probably something I've learned this year that I've got to really think about too, is that gig guitars and collecting guitars is two different things. The working guitars really are electric guitars, and I think that's how I'm going to think about them from now on. It does kind of spoil them a bit when you put pickups in them, whether that's the internal types or the sound hole ones. The sound hole ones probably more so, because they lose a little bit of character. I've noticed that with the Yami since I took that pickup out. The beauty of the M80 is you can just unplug it, so the cable and shit's still in there, but just the pickup's been taken out, and I can put it back in when I want it. It's so nice to hear that guitar in all its beauty, you'd say, you know, like it opens it up. It's nice, but that still is a working guitar, so the pickup will go back in some configuration. And then the Ferg, that's going to be a working guitar as well. I think they're that similar. And funnily enough, the Ferg's got a bigger body, but actually you can jam it into the Yamaha case, so it shows you how close they are even in size. But anyway, I'll go into that when I do the comparison. So yeah, 2023, where do I start, man? Like, well, one, I had a bookshop when I started 2023, and was a part-time musician. As a comparison, like 2022, we started playing again. Me and Tim did 2 gigs together. 2 gigs for 2022, that was it, 2. And I was thinking about the other day, when we were with Malt Whiskey, when we were doing that, which is what we used to do, similar sort of stuff with covers and a bit of slide playing and stuff like that. It was a bit different, a bit more raucous, a bit more pub oriented, I suppose. When we were doing that, even at our most busiest, I think we did about 6 to 8 gigs a year. So it wasn't like this. So anyway, at our peak, 6 to 8. Last year, 2 gigs. And 2023, I just done 66 gigs. So that's amazing, you know, and so it's been a real steep learning curve. Other good things is like playing at the top venues in Adelaide. If I had a mental list of the places I would love to play at, I'm playing at all of them, you know, like I'm playing regularly at all of them too, which is fantastic. That's just like, that's kind of a dream come true, and I've got to kind of keep that in perspective, because a lot of the time you can get arrogant. You're playing at these venues and they become normal, and it's just like, no man, you dreamed about playing at places like that, so don't not enjoy that, you know, like really enjoy it. And I'm playing my music. It's not even like I'm doing covers to fit in. I'm playing original music at really good venues that are blues venues, you know, so win-win there. Played a blues festival. That was on my bucket list for this year. It was sort of looking like that wasn't going to happen, and then it just happened at the last moment, and it was fantastic. You know, as you guys know from another video, probably, we had a fantastic first blues festival. Went better than expected, you know, that was great. I can't tell you about that one. That's secret. And what else? Channel, there's over 300 people subscribed, which is nothing in YouTube terms, I suppose, but to me it's amazing and it's really cool. And I'm starting to sort of know different people, which is a bit surprising too. It's kind of like, you know, you hear people talk about doing a YouTube channel and they say like, people know them, but they don't know the people. But I don't feel like that. Like, I don't have faces to names and stuff, but I really start recognizing names and regular contributors and people that talk back and forth and start to know what guitars they got and stuff like that, which is funny. It's like, you know, like you go down the street, you know someone's dog's name, but you don't know the person. It's a bit like that. I know, I think I know what most of you guys play for guitars more than the person. That's all right. So I just wrote some notes down. The most popular videos by far on the site are anything to do with the Yamaha. You guys love those Yamaha vids. They're like, they get way more views than anything else. So it just shows you how popular those guitars are. And compared to the other guitars and that, like, I reckon if I checked, I'll do it in a minute, but I reckon if I checked, probably the top 5 videos would all be Yamaha FS5 videos. So what else did I do this year? All right, so I shut my business, went into full-time music. Now it's been 6 months since I made that choice. And so, you know, obviously that's been stressful and hard, but like, I never thought I'd call myself a full-time musician, and I still don't, because it's like, even though that's where my income's coming from, it's still like, I'm not there yet. January and February are gonna really make or break, I think, pretty much financially, which is why, you know, I probably shouldn't really be buying guitars like I am, which is the next thing. So next year, I really wanna focus on the music. So the channel is probably gonna focus more on that because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll still muck around changing guitars and upgrading and fiddling, but I really need to not be buying guitars and amps and crap and pedals this year. I need to actually sort of use what I got and make it work and make some money. And I need a new car. So that's the priority this year. And it was actually the priority last year, funnily enough. So that's not a good sign. But yeah, last year, I just looked through my diary because I do a journal every day. The goal was, don't buy guitars, buy a bloody car, you know? You're like, you need it if you're gonna go traveling and you need to carry your stuff and secure it better and things like that. So that's a bit scary that it was on the list last year and I bought guitars instead. But you know that saying women have when they, in dating, when they say they're dating with a purpose? Well, I'm gassing with a purpose this year. I'm only gear acquisitioning, syndroming out of necessity. How's that? We'll see how that goes, to quote a famous person. Negative stuff, it's really hard to be negative about any of it, man. Like, I'm living my dream. Like, literally, how many people can say that? Like, I've actually got to a point, and I'm like old as hell. I nearly swear. I'm gonna try stop swearing as well. I'm way older than I wanted to be doing this. I always thought I'd do it in my 30s, but I never could. There was always some reason to not do it. You know, you gotta make money, you gotta pay your bills. I had a lot bigger bills then. Luckily for me now, I'm set myself up in a position where, apart from my guitar habit, everything's small. Like, I live a real small life, and the beauty of that is I've got an opportunity to really do this. And it's amazing how many times this year I've kind of had to pinch myself and go like, you're too old for this shit, man. What are you doing? This will never work. You know, like, this negative stuff comes in, and I've got this thing, and I just go, yeah, but all right, maybe all that shit's true, but you're asking for gigs, you're getting return gigs. Like, no matter what you're doing, it's working. People are liking it. More people are coming to the shows, regular gigs at top venues. Stop questioning it and go with it, you know, like, and work real hard and value it. So when I was thinking about sort of the hard stuff is that, one, I've got a newfound respect for people that do this for a living, because it's hard, man. Like, anyone says it's easy, I think they're doing it part-time. I find it really hard. I find asking for gigs hard. I find stuff like cancellations and that hard. I find it hard to say no. I'll put that in now, because that's something I wrote down there, and I thought that was a really interesting thing that happened recently. You got to say no. Like, if you're clear about what you're doing. So when you first start, I don't know, you sort of get things where people say, oh, you need to do this and you need to do that, and you change what you do for that. Everyone tells you have to do covers, otherwise it won't work, and it's like, you know, I've never agreed with that, and I haven't had to do it so far, and people are liking the music with or without covers. They don't actually care if the music's good. So that's that side of it. But where it's really hard is, like, I contacted a guy about a venue that I want to play at, and the reason I want to play there, it just looks like a good fit and it's cool, and the guys that own this other cool venue, and they're cool guys, so I figured that would be a good fit. But when I was talking to the guy, he wanted me to play 5 hours. And I'm like, I can't do 5 hours, man. Like, I'm doing originals, I'm not strumming out radio tunes, you know? If I was, yeah, I could probably do it. And like he was cool, it's like, you know, just chill. You can do like 4 sets in 5 hours. That'll be plenty. And it's just like, I started working out how I could make another setup, how I could stretch, how I could make it. And in the end, I thought, you're actually going to have to say no, because you don't want to go out half-assed ever. You don't want to go out unrehearsed stuff and wing it. Or the other side to it was, I was thinking, I'll put a bunch of the old covers I used to do with malt whiskey and some slide stuff together and make a 4th set out of that, and then mix it through the sets. So we've got 4 solid sets. That'll get me through that one. And I started thinking along those lines. And then I thought, that's not what I want to do. You know, when I imagine the music that I want to make, I'm still a long way from where I want to be. But what I want to do is original music, and I want it more and more musical and higher quality. So that's where I want to put my effort. And if I'm putting my effort into doing covers for one venue, or, you know, just trying to expand into someone that does 5-hour shows, it's like, I don't want to be someone that does 5-hour shows, you know? So I messaged him and I said, look, man, I'm gonna have to bail on that one. I can't do that. So sorry, you know. And I hate saying no to a gig, especially when you need the dough and that. But I felt good that I did, because it's meaning that I'm being true to who I want to be, and that's what's got me as far as it's got me so far. Is being true to who you are, being authentic, having a clear idea of where you're going, and just keep bloody stepping, to quote Doug McLeod. He told me that when I first started that was cool. Actually, I'll tell you that story if you didn't know. Doug McLeod's a bloody, only plays original. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's really cool. Only plays original blues, his own songs, always has, always will. That's his thing. He's got some cool stories about why, and you can check them out yourself. I messaged him on Facebook when I first started playing again. Can't remember why. Because he's cool and he does originals maybe. Anyway, he answered and that was cool. And he messaged back and forth a little bit, and he gave me the advice just to keep stepping. Keep stepping, and he got that from a harmonica player. I can't remember his name, but he said that was the advice he got, and that's the advice he gives, just keep stepping. And I thought, yeah, that's cool as hell. And then he liked my Facebook page. So he was actually the first person to like my Facebook page, which I'm very proud of that, because like, he's a legendary blues guy in the world, you know, and I'm just some bozo in Adelaide. So, but yeah, keep stepping. And that's just what I'm doing now. So just keep stepping, stick to your own path, and have a clear idea what that is. So to me, eventually it will be full original. I don't know, I just know that's what I want to do. And it will be solo, 90% solo, I think, because that's something, even though I love playing with Tim and there's other dudes I like jamming with and that, but solo's always been in my head as the ultimate, you know, like I'm listening to Lightning Hopkins at the moment, and guys like that, you know, they play with other people, but generally speaking, they travel around, it's one guy, and there's something legit about that, you know. All my favourite players are like that. Dutch Tilders, you know, just touring around with a guitar. Lloyd Spiegel, another one, does like solo stuff. Even like guys like Tommy Emmanuel and that. They can play with anyone and that, but there's something about their solo act that just captures me, you know, like more than anything. So, and Eric Bibb, obviously, I've mentioned him probably a million times on the channel, but that guy's probably a bit of an ideal as well, you know, that the level of music, quality, and professionalism and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, long story long, I did say no to that gig, and that cost me 2 gigs when I need them, because they're in January and February. And then I'm thinking like, shit man, that's making life tough on myself. But I think life does that to you. You gotta actually, you gotta earn it, and you earn it by sticking to your guns and being prepared to fail. So anyway, I cancelled those gigs, felt bad, and then I turned up at the gig on Friday night with Tim. We were playing, and the dude that was booking the gigs was actually playing upstairs, and came down to the bar downstairs and grabbed a drink, and ended up having a chat with him. And he's a really nice guy, totally understood that I didn't want to do 5 hours. He said like not many people do. It was cool that, and he's, you know, if any gigs come up, he'll talk to the owners and that and say like, you got guys that are prepared to do 3-hour gigs, no worries. If they start doing that, he'll give me a call, which is great. So that worked out well. But I did still lose 2 gigs. And then same night, phone rings, And it's another gig in January and they're cancelling for whatever reason. And I was just like, oh no. So now I'm down 2 gigs and I'm already down gigs. All right, life's getting tough. The thing about it getting hard is that, you know, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And if it's this hard for me, it's this hard for everyone. And that's got to thin the crowd out to something where you can keep going if you work your ass off. And that's the plan. So yeah, what else? Let's have a look. I've got lists and stuff because I've been mucking around with what's going to happen in 2024. Oh, another thing I've buggered up, which you guys probably didn't know, but on the channel, I went to delete 2 videos that no one was looking at. I can't remember what they were, but they were from that when I first started. And I deleted 42. I don't know how I did that, but suddenly I went from like, there'd been like 85,000 views on the channel at that stage. And then overnight it dropped down to like 40 because I deleted half the channel. I wasn't getting many views at all for quite a while. I think it kind of, the numbers plummeted and it upset something. But live and learn. So when you want to delete something, make sure the other page isn't all checked, because I don't even know what I deleted, to be honest, but there was 40 videos deleted. So yeah, that wasn't good. I don't really do like a New Year's resolution, so to speak, but I do find it's a good time to reevaluate and make plans. I think the good thing about looking back over the year is that this year particularly, it was a very positive year, even though I hadn't really taken time to sort of catalogue it. Actually, the other thing I'll mention too is that wasn't sort of a highlight, but was valuable, was playing to nobody. Played to nobody a couple of times this year. One, got some photographic evidence, which I asked one of the guys to work there, I'll take a photo of this man because everyone's got to do this, and I want a photo of it. Luckily for me, that was probably only 15 minutes with no one, and then a couple of people come up and a couple more, and before you know it, there's a few people listening and enjoying it. But playing to an empty room is the pits, man. It's the pits. I've done it more than, well, I was thinking it was twice, but it's probably more than that. Because I know I was talking to Tim when we had to play an empty room at that festival that got cancelled. He wasn't enjoying it, and I was actually all right with it because I've done it enough now. So it's definitely been more than twice. But it's humbling. It's like, and that's a good thing. And I think that's the thing I like about it being tough too, because like if everything's going your way, where's the value? When it sucks ass and you still love it, now you're onto something. And there's times where it sucked ass, man. Like there's stuff that, you try and keep the cheery on the channel. You don't even think about it, but like some of the tough stuff for me lately has been trying not to fall asleep when I'm driving home and shit like that. By the time you leave some places, it can be pretty bloody late. I usually get up really early in the morning anyway, so it's a long day. If you do a couple in a row, or you do, say, an afternoon and then at night and then an afternoon again or whatever, you can be pretty knackered. I found quite often lately, maybe it's 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I drop Tim off to his house, and then he's probably a good 35 minutes from here. And it's that last drive on your own when there's 2 of you in the car and you're just chatting and stuff, but it's all right. But when you're knackered and then you got to do the last half hour, it's just like, oh my God, I've fallen asleep so many times. But yeah, that sort of shit sucks. But probably the hardest thing's the empty rooms, playing to nobody or playing to people that don't like what you're playing. That's really hard too, and that's another reason. You got to get good at saying no if you want to do this, because the times I've said yes when my gut said no have been horrible gigs. So there's another horrible gig. That was one I got booked by a dude, and the bloody football was on the screen. I was basically interrupting the bloody Bullheads football night and had to play 3 sets to the side of people's heads looking that way, That wasn't much fun. But luckily for me, I took that kind of personally and went, basically, fuck you guys. I'm just going to play my ass off. And I did, played a ripper set and couldn't wait to leave. That was a horrible gig. That was probably the worst one. At least when I played to an empty room at NOLA, the people downstairs were still there and enjoying it. I just didn't have no way of seeing them. And the staff were cool. So yeah, 2024, man. That to me is moving into full-time professional musician reality. I've been doing it for 6 months now, but money's coming tight. There's a real bottleneck coming January and February by the look of it. And that'll be sort of make or break. But it always feels like Men in Black, where like the end of the world's coming. It's that sort of feeling. It's like you always got your nose just above water. But I also find that if I'm not like that, I tend to back off. I can get lazy pretty quick if I'm not like that. So that's probably why I bought the Ferg. Keep telling myself that, eh? That's why I bought the Ferg. Keep me motivated. Yeah, that's what it was. Plan moving forward, basically, I did 66 gigs this year. Next year, I'm aiming for 120. I want to do 120 gigs next year. That'll be a full-time income, and that'll be a minimum. So a lot of work involved. That'll need at least 20 regular venues, I reckon. I don't know how many I've got now. There's probably only like a handful that are really regular, but generally I'll just build on that. But I'd like 20 regular, semi-regular venues and sort of equalize it out over the year to 120 gigs. I'd love to open for someone really good, you know. I know Eric Bibb's coming here in May. Someone like that, I'd love to open for someone. And actually, I reckon I'll go to that too. Bugger it. Might have to take a day off and go see that. Nothing motivates you more than seeing someone a lot better than you, you know. So, I mean, and that's the beauty of YouTube. I get to see guys, you know, that are so good that you think, why do I bother? But you bother because it motivates you to keep improving. And that will be the other thing that I've really liked about 2023. My playing's improved heaps, man. And it's going to improve a lot more, because that's one thing about the Ferg, man. The neck really suits me. Really suits me. It's slightly wider. It's pretty flat. And I'm finding it's making me play better. So it may be a lucky choice, you know. May have worked out really well. I won't go into that too much because I want to do a comparison with the Yam, and I know you guys will enjoy that. So yeah, that's enough waffling on, I guess. I think 2024 is going to be my year, man. Like, I'm either going to not get there and have to go find a job, or I'm going to just keep stepping, as Doug would say. I'm going to keep stepping is what I'm going to do. I don't have a back out plan. Get some gigs interstate as well as here, and maybe like start with a festival or something and try and get known a little bit. I haven't worked out how to do that next step, but it'll need to happen this year. And other than that, just chase gigs. Try and keep the YouTube channel going. I want to keep it small and personal, and like talking direct with you guys, even though I know probably that's not the best way to do a YouTube channel, but I like the idea of having something to look back on in time and see what I was thinking. And hey, maybe it's something that someone else down the track, when they're just trying to get going, playing live, and that can learn from as well. You know, I hadn't even thought of that, but that would be really good if that's the case. And that's probably another reason to try and keep it real. It's not easy. Don't think it is. But actually, at the beginning of my 2023 diary, I actually wrote, it's the easiest job you've ever had. So there you go. I'm not sure that I agree with that now. I haven't been a brickies labourer and working in foundries and doing some pretty hard jobs here and there. This still isn't easy. It's difficult in a different way. But it's bloody rewarding. That's the point. You know, the difficulty makes it more valuable, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving that you guys tune in and take the time to comment and be a part of this little thing I'm doing. So yeah, that's about it, man. Coffee's gone cold, Lightning Hopkins turned off. I've got guitars to play. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully 2024 is good, and I'll see you on the other side. I hope you have a nice New Year's, and you got some guitars in line to purchase next year. Thanks for watching. See you next year.